All right, we're going to go ahead and get started a little early, let people join. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. So, going into Labor Day in the United States, of course, I get people to join all over the world. So, and just another Monday, depending on where you live. And let's take a look at the markets and see how things have opened up tonight. Looks like we're seeing a lot of green arrows here for the futures. I'm not, not too much. I mean, 0.25, but we're seeing some buying pressure here. Again, we're kind of going back to this chart on the Dow Jones. You have this 1 2 1 2 1 2 very bullish setup. We could see this kind of a little bit of bigger dip here, but we don't have to see that either. Then there's also a potential for a flat. And then we can even have a larger degree flat where there's 1 2 3 connector, and then we swing back up and then come down later. So people, you got to stay nimble, right? We could easily come back up and then drop hard in a bigger flat on 2. We could just drop hard from here and finish that flat. Again, turn in higher, or we can just go higher. But you see where all arrows lead. Higher. The path to get there could be very painful if you're trying to time the market. So if you're trying to time the market, the chances are you're going to lose. And that's what I think is going to happen. And the people that need to worry about this are the people who joined the trend late, or joined or bought the breakout. They're the ones that are going to be sweating. They're going to be sweating. So that's kind of where we are now. If you bought earlier in the cycle, if your stock is lower, and when this pullback, if this pullback happens, you're going to be able to sit through this. But again, you're going to have to manage your expectations, right? You're going to have to prepare for a big sell-off and then a rally. That's what you're going to have to prepare yourself for. Your mind has to be prepared for that. Okay, just understand that, but it doesn't have to happen that way, right? Like I showed you, like if we just go with this count, we just keep pushing higher, we get to the same point at some point in the future, and then the big crash that everybody, I think, is talking about online, and who knows how low it goes. Use your imagination. So I think for right now, this path is uncertain. So each chart should be traded on its own, and you should. The best strategy is to buy the dip in 3 waves and let the market take you out. If you try to guess and time in and out, or guess the top or top tick, you're probably, I'm going to guess wrong. Murphy's Law will say you guess wrong, and you'll lose all your money. So it's tough trading environment in the next, I think, 4 weeks coming up, 4 or 5 weeks into mid-October. I think it's going to be a very difficult trading environment if you don't have a strategy or system. If you're used to just buying randomly, based on your emotion and what you read on Twitter, then you're probably going to lose a lot of money in the next 4 to 5 weeks. It's just sad, and you're better off not trading. And then if you get a big sell-off, go into the market. And if you don't, well, you don't. And you just have to accept the fact, and you're better. At least you have your money still. That's how I look at the market right now. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. And that's the big question. Will we get the flat or not? And will we get the flat or not? And if we get the flat, well, then there's going to be a big sell-off. There's some signs that could happen, but we haven't seen the big breakdown in big cap tech yet. We did see crypto starting to show some weakness, but even crypto may find a low here, and we're very close. What if crypto finds a low here and that's it? And you're waiting for some big crash, it doesn't happen. You'll be sad. Or what if you leave the market right here at the wrong time? Right now, you could bounce here and go lower, right? And then bounce again up to the highs, or you can impulse down like that, really hard, and then fail like that, and then highs. Again, all paths lead to higher, but could be very erratic to get there. So if you're trying to time the market, you're going to fail. So you have to have a strategy. Whatever your strategy is, you need to execute it. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm giving you information. I just think you have a good chance of a bounce right here. You have a massive resistance, now support. The first test of this should produce a reaction higher. And then after that, who knows? You're either going to get something like that or you're going to new highs. So you can decide if you want to try to time the market or not. You can decide if you want to buy it. You can decide if you want to short this on this right here. They play that. That's up to you. I can't hold your hands and tell you what to do. I'm just telling you there is going to be a big decision if this plays out right in this area. Of course, the easy answer is it just goes down like that, but it never does, right? It never is that easy. So I think that's the decision. That's where you are. So you're better off buying in 3 waves. On the pullback with the trend, knowing that we're likely to resolve higher. Okay, we're in a bull market still on the grand super cycle, and you can use that to your advantage and use that to your strategy as you execute your strategy. So anyway, let's go into the questions. I've got a lot of questions like I always do. That's fine. And I'll go to the top of the list that was sent to me yesterday, which for some reason YouTube cuts out. I don't know why it does that, but luckily I'm able to pull all those up. So I'm able to pull those up. So I'm going to try to find where we left off here. So there was a stock that someone asked me about that I forgot to do. Last one, so we'll start there. MOWI. MOWI is Maui. I don't know what the hell it does. I have no idea what this company does, but it looks like it's in a distribution phase. I have it in a corrective pattern because I just can't get an impulse out of this. The RSIs just don't support it. So this to me is a corrective bounce. If it's a corrective bounce, it shouldn't generate another swing lower, just like I have. So it should do that, right? But again, you're trying to time the market, right? If you're trying to get out here and get in here, because it should resolve higher in the future, but you have to survive this wave too. I think it's going to double correct, okay? Now, the weekly cycle isn't even close to ending, right? To start the double correction. Now it would start to turn lower. I think you would break it on this Y, would break the weekly. And then the monthly cycle, let's take a look at the monthly cycle. Right up on the edge. So you're right there. The monthly cycle, pretty oversold, could go lower. The weekly cycle, overbought, needs to reset. That reset is likely W, and then you finish. So that's what I'm thinking, okay? The area you could see it start to pull back. It could have already peaked there, or we can go up another swing into this part of the box. If you can take out this high and negates the bearish view, then you have an impulse finally. So that's what I'm looking for. I think we've had this box since I've been asked about it, and there's really no change. I think you're just going to get this big pullback to correct the 3-wave move. Okay, now again, if you take this high out, well then it's some kind of impulse, right? Or bigger 3-wave move. Again, where this would be some kind of connector, and then you come up here, and then you can come back down. But I think when I look at this, it's come a long way from $5 to $235. Okay, think about that for a minute. This was at $5 and it's at $200 now. The people that bought it down here, they're ringing the cash register because they see the trend is over. Remember, just because you bought it here doesn't mean you're the only one. You have all these other people that bought it here. Guess what? They're all ringing the register, and they're buying their Lambos right now. Right? They're buying their Lambos because these guys see the uptrend is over. I know I would be if I was in this. If I bought the dip on that too. I probably would have got out somewhere here, but hell, they're probably like, yeah, the trend's over. I've already made so much money. Why would I? What's another $100? Let's just get out. So I think that's what's happening, the distribution phase. And then you're going to have a capitulation phase. And I wouldn't be surprised if it retraces more of this. But good luck on that. All right, the next question is SOLT. So that's Solana, guys. And Solana is at a critical juncture with crypto forecasted to go a little lower. I still have Solana showing a more conservative 5 waves up. And then we could be peaked at 5 here and starting its big pullback, and that would decline us down to somewhere around 146, 147 or lower. I mean, it doesn't. This is the most likely spot, but again, you would be correcting the whole leg, and it just maybe started. So as you can see, we haven't got confirmation yet. We may get that by the end of our live stream. Who knows? Once this channel breaks, it's over, right? It's over for Solana for a little bit, right? The daily cycle is kind of up against, right? It's coming up. The weekly cycle has a little bit more room, but let's see, it's going to come down. So I think it's getting close. And look at all the bearish divergence, bearish, 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 bearish. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So it's showing all the signs of a 5th wave here. So I think it's going to pull back. So what do you think is going to happen to SOLT? It's going to sell off. So it's going to sell off, and then guess what's going to happen when that goes, right? Then you're going to bounce into a 3. So if you're trying to time the market, you're likely to fail. Unfortunately, we don't have a connector yet. We don't have a connector yet to target. So I'm just giving you kind of my best guess. I mean, it can go lower. It can even be more shallow. But it needs time now to correct that weekly cycle. To negate the view, of course, is a star race and divergence. So we need the 4-hour to come up and take this peak out, and then that should move us back to the more bullish count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But I think that's unrealistic count. So SOLT, we'll just kind of mirror that. SOLT is going to mirror that view here. I'm not sure what that's all about. SOLT. We'll come back here. See if I can find it. There. So there you go. So SOLT, I'm just looking at a 3-wave move and a bigger connector. And you could see support at 1313 and X before the next move. So bigger X, right? If it's the more bullish 1212, X would be done. And then this would be an AB and a 1-2, and we would obviously spike up. So there's no reason to think that looking at Bitcoin's forecast, the only way is if Bitcoin can make a low very quickly and then find the major bottom. There's no double correction. And then perhaps Solana will surprise you to the upside. So unfortunately, this is the more conservative view. The problem is Solana's jammed up in the middle here. It hasn't made a break. It looks like it wants to break down. Okay, it looks like that to me. Okay, Chainlink has broken a lower low. Bitcoin not in the box yet. Could be in a 1-2-1-2. We know Coinbase should go lower. MicroStrategy should go lower. Okay, I think XLM broke the low, should go lower. Bitcoin Cash should go lower. So why would I say Solana goes up? So you can't. Even though it could, because if I trade each chart on its own, but I believe right now we don't have an indication, but I think you could probably make the best decision and expect it to go lower. Okay, but if you do start to see it go up and obviously taking this peak out or taking out the 4-hour peak, then you're going to get into more bullish forecast. All right, but ultimately higher. So that's all I want to say on that one. All right, so the next is this BMA. So BMA, let's go to BMA here. Okay. So BMA has this 1-2-1-2. We have a connector. We made a lower low. So our box is 40, we've had this on here, 42.45. Perhaps it can hit, 36, 35, somewhere in this area. So it's lower. And I think the question was, are we close to wave 4? I don't see any wave 4. Maybe we thought this could be a wave 4, but obviously it isn't with the double. So I think this is the right count. And I believe it's in a 2. And there's your wave 4. So I wouldn't say it's in a wave 4. I guess you could try to say, is it a 1, 2, 3, 4? I guess could it overlap? Maybe. I would say it's possible. It's possible that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mean, it's possible. So that could be a 4. So if that's what you mean, are we close to wave 4? So this could be a big wave 4 off of the bottom, but it's usually not likely. But anyway, it could be. But anyway, I think this is the count on BMA. The goal. So GDX is in the next question is CoreWeave. Sorry, CoreWeave. CoreWeave. I have that charted already. CoreWeave. We've ended the cycle is down, is over. This cycle's over. So now we're in a rebound. But we only have 3 waves up. So the question is it over yet? Well, we don't know yet. Making this 5th wave would be very important to support that view that it is over, right? And then you would come back down, and then you would just keep pushing higher. Right, and that's what you would hope to see. You would hope to see that, and eventually come out. If you can't do that, and we start to break down, and we take out this low, I would call that Y lower, and then this A, B, C, and then we would just have to, trace the 5 waves down with the most divergence or race. You don't have chart support until you get to around 64, 52. Ideally, you're back to 43 even. So it would be a very devastating move for it. So as of now, we say the low is in. It bounced where you would have expected it, but we don't have 5. Without 5, we just don't know. We just don't know. You need 5. If we don't have 5, then it's the bears could still pull a fast one. If we get this 5, it's likely to continue higher. Now I was looking, could this be an ABC in 5 off of this low here? It would be very unusual because it would be a fractal of that same pattern, but that would only drop it to 79 again, still in the box. So we would. I don't think that's the case because when I look here, it looks like you have 1, a connector, 2, and this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it looks like 5 down from here. So again, I'm just giving you my best guess. This is a very tricky setup, and I think we'll just kind of use this for now. Now, could it bounce in a bigger wave 3 up to here, and then nosedive back down? Sure, right? And that corrects that whole move. Sure. So anyway, I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that for now. That's CoreWeave, guys. So I would say yes, the local lows in. The local lows in is the question, or one more low. I think one more low is unlikely if you can make this 5th swing. Right now, it's a flip of a coin. But hey, I like that rebound on Friday. Look, like it recovered it recovered all of the loss, because I remember early in the session it was getting hit hard, and then it recovered all of it. So that's a great sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Okay. Then let's see. Let's go to the next question here. And again, just kind of take a look here again. Next one is a set of questions, and I can go back to my chart. First one is GameStop. Well, GameStop's still just jammed up in this this correction, right? This 2 could be in here. This does look like 3 up, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it dip down into this area down here to retest this low. If we break that low, it will go into probably a bigger decline, right? Obviously, we go into a bigger decline, and we would have to update the overall chart. Right now we have this in this 1 2 1 2 1 2 count. If we break this low here on the June low, what I would think this will turn into is we'd have to make this like a triangle, and then this is the next leg lower in the triangle, and that's the connector. So we'd have one more flush down into this somewhere where my cursor is now, 14 or 15 as the capitulation low. I think this low is likely to hold, and we would be in a bigger 2. Okay, so that's the setup, and you just have to be aware of that, because like I said, I think this would be the A, and then you have like an A, B, C, D, E, and then it drops, and then you have 1 2 down, and then you finish down. That's what I think. And again, I'll relabel this when that time comes, if that time comes. We've seen things languish in the box, sometimes months. Now this one's been pretty much stuck since June. Okay, languishing. I think it needs Bitcoin to run. If Bitcoin is going to make a short low, Bitcoin's going to go down just a little bit more and then make a major low, then GameStop's going to be okay. If Bitcoin's going to not do that and make a double correction where we bounce and then we fail to go under 100K, it's likely to go down. Do we know what Bitcoin's going to do? No one does, but the guys that make the market, right? Only they know what they want to do. So are they going to make Bitcoin bottom here, and then everyone's caught short, or are they gonna have it rally and then slam it down? I think if they slam it down, GameStop goes down with it. If they don't do that, I think GameStop hold is okay, and then if this happens, GameStop, it's go time. So do we know which one it is? I don't know. So if we're gonna get this bounce, perhaps GameStop could bounce soon before even if it were to collapse here. So like if GameStop is in this jammed up here, maybe we get a spike back up, maybe we get back up to 24 25 and then drop, or we just go, right? Or even the spike could even go even higher potentially to really trap people, and then it could drop it. So I think it's I think you just have to buy these levels and just see and be aware there could be gap down risk. There's gap down risk, but amazingly the structure is holding. But you got to see it's coming to the end. Like, we're coming to the end of the line. And then the next question, let's go to your next one. GDX, the GDXD. The GDXD, okay. So the GDXD, the GDX, we are seeing acceleration in the gold miners and the silver miners. We're starting to see it accelerate. So that's always a bad recipe for buying the leverage, the product, especially in the opposite direction. This is why we never try to top tick a market. And if you're trying to top tick the GDX, you're probably starting to get in trouble here. So this is my count. I updated on the GDX before our live stream. We have extended already. We have erased some divergence, so we are pushing higher. If you look at this count, it would be crazy to buy the GDXD right now. So I think, or maybe you're shorting it. But my point is, if you see the GDX dip in 3 waves, you should be picking that up. Okay. Again, we're just seeing momentum increase. FOMO taking hold. People who didn't buy it for some reason when back in these lower areas, and even lower, like even lower where we were covering it in 2023 on my channel and on my live streams. I mean, most of you guys listen to them. We were covering this But now we're in the heart of the 303, which is media attention, and everybody wants to be in it. So that's this is the 303. But again, all good things will come to an end. At some point, this will come to an end, and there'll be a big correction, because it'll be the first correction off the major lows. That's usually pretty nasty. So we do know it's coming, and then the GDXD would be a good buy, but I don't think I would recommend buying that right now. And the GDXD count looks something similar. And it has erased divergence convincingly. So this actually implies I'm probably not bullish enough on the GDX, because the GDXD is really erasing divergence on these lows. This is why you can't bottom tick this stuff, because it just keeps extending lower. So at some point it will end though, and it'll be a hell of an opportunity. That's for sure. I would not be interested in buying that right now. All right, the next question we have is QNTM. So QNTM, I went ahead and updated. QNTM, we only show 3 waves up, and then we have a 3-wave pullback with 3 waves, and then we're down, and now we're like, we broke this low, so now we're like, where do we go? Let me see if we broke that low. Let me just make sure. No, we didn't. So that's why I had the line. So we haven't broke this low yet. So if we don't break this low, it could still ratchet higher. But once we break the low, it opens you up to 953. I think we're going to break it. So I have this drawn here. So you would double correct. This could be W. That could be X. And then you have Y. But that doesn't have to happen, right? That doesn't have to happen because you've already made your 3-wave move up. So you've already corrected the whole downtrend. So this can easily just keep going to 0. So you could try to, once you break that low, you could try to pick it up. Or if you break the low, you could short any rally until you get to this area. And then at this point, I would either go to the sidelines and wait for the market to give me some confirmation of what's happening, or you make your decision and live with it, right? So the problem is you've already made your 3 up. So there's no guarantee the Y could happen. It seems like we're going to break this low. If we do that, then that's the target. And then once you break the low, you can short the 3-wave pops until you get to this target. That's typically the strategy. You short, play the trend. But then here, like I said, it could reverse on you. It may not, and those shorts can end up being very lucrative if this breakdown occurs. Okay. Next is Ethereum. So Ethereum is kind of like Solana, kind of like where is it going to go? I think it's going to be in a couple patterns. So again, we had a major low here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're in 5. The question is, where's 5? Is 5 done here, or is it going to extend? Is 5 of 5 going to extend like I'm showing, or is 5 already done? I think there's probably a good chance 5's already done, but we don't have confirmation of that yet. So that's why I showed the trend continuing higher. But whenever this ends, whether 5 extends to the 5,600 area, or it ends now, we're likely to come back and revisit this area, right around here. Okay, the wave 4 cluster, 3,400. That's what we're likely to do. Does that make some kind of cup and handle? Not really. Now, the good thing is you broke this high, and you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and this would be a 1, 2 count. I mean, this would be a massive setup, long setup, okay? That's why I'm hearing online that big whales are moving into Ethereum. They're selling Bitcoin stack. I mean, they're not stupid, guys. They probably see the same charts I'm doing. I mean, they know that where this is going in the future. But again, are you going to try to time the market or not? If you try to time the market, you get lucky, great. Are you going to be able to get back in on this too? What if this too just comes back to 4,000 and is this shallow? We've seen that before. What if it isn't that deep? What if 5 extends on you, right? What, and then erases divergence, and we don't, unfortunately, don't know. You just don't know. But the trend is clearly higher, right? So it's clearly higher. So I'm giving you kind of my interpretation. So I don't recommend selling it in the bigger picture. But if you really can't help yourself and want to try to time the market, I think if you break this low again, likelihood is 1 is in. You'll go into a decline, and you should rally and fail. That's the typical pattern. Okay, again, the 4 hour would need to break down. The daily would need to break down, which it hasn't yet. Those are the clues. And once that breaks, it would come down. And of course, the weekly cycle overbought would need to come down and be oversold. And that would need to drop. So that's why you would probably come down, bounce, and come down again, because you would have to reset that weekly cycle. But as of now, that hasn't happened yet. We haven't peaked yet. I think it's likely we will. And it's likely we will. So you just need to be prepared for this sell-off, right? This sell-off was brutal, but it came back. This sell-off was even more brutal. And using our system, the box would have told you exactly where to buy it, right? If, you know, and I don't know, maybe I had this back in June. My channel was around in June. I want to say I was showing this, but God knows what happened back in June 22. But I do remember, I mean, that's a classic three-way move. It doesn't get any better than that. But look, you had to wait, come up, and then you had to lose all your money again, and then come up. So let's talk about playing the long game. And then if you really played the long game through this whole thing, you're finally now breaking out. But now you're going to have to maybe endure another slam back down. You're going to have to endure that. Breaking this high was pretty significant here. So that's Ethereum, guys. And Ethereum is, I call it the king of the altcoins. You know, it's the queen of crypto, but it's the king of altcoins. So what does this tell you? Alt season. This is alt season. The breakout in Ethereum means alt season's coming. But it could be a little painful before we get there. So you're going to have to decide how you want to play this. I mean, personally, I would have some money ready to buy the dip. And mentally be prepared for a sell-off. But know the bigger picture. Okay. That's Ethereum, guys. That's all I want to say on Ethereum. Let's keep going to our next request here. Let's take a look here. So we were on QTM, so let's go to the next one. LPSN, Open. This is Open. We have two, Open and LPSN. I'll do LPSN first, then Open. LPSN came to 80 cents, but announced a reverse split. I think LPSN may have more downside. I think it does too. You know, this chart is played out beautifully. Okay, beautifully. Now, we didn't hit our target. If you look at this, it had 3 big waves. This is kind of like we haven't had that. I wouldn't even be surprised it comes back up and then comes back down like that even. So here we go. So that's some pretty big capitulation. That's just the 45. That's nothing. Okay, you see that? We haven't taken out all those peaks yet. My guess we will. And the daily too. Ironically, we haven't corrected the cycle. So ironically, if for some reason we don't go lower, we would have to call a 1-2-1-2. Did we break this low? Yeah, we broke that low. So maybe we would call this 1, 2, 3, and A, B, C. We would have to change up our overall count. It would be very messy. So yeah, we'd probably have to call it in 3 and 3 and then 3 up. But for now, we'll call it this. So I think Y's got more downside. This is where I want to see it. Okay, and we really need to see the higher time frames bottom out, 4 hour and daily. We need to see that. Ideally, even the weekly. So yeah, I would say lower. So that's lower. For me, LPSN lower. Again, be careful. It could get erratic. It could come up, and then crash back down. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. That's kind of what happened here in that B wave, right? Up, down, up, crash. This could be a B wave of Y. This could be the B wave of Y, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C. Just be careful. So I'm saying it's tricky market, guys. Tricky market. If you're trading that, be prepared for pop, drop. You know, but this is the area where I would probably go, okay, do I want to buy it here and start to buy? I would want to see the daily cycle. You know, I want to see all those, the daily, the 4 hour, and even the weekly would be good to have that all bottomed out. Okay. And then open. Open is one I've just got my eye on for now. You know, we've got some kind of impulse off the low with a higher high sequence. So it means it's likely to extend higher. I have it in 3, but this bottom is very irregular, very truncated. So I call it like it has a high likelihood of being a flat, and which is what I think it may go into here. So I don't, you know, is it 100% sure it's going to be a flat? I don't know. I wish I knew it. Could that be 2? Could we still come back up a little bit higher in 2? If it were to do a flat, I'd like to buy it somewhere in this area, 150, maybe even lower than that, low under 150. Do I want to buy it here? No way. I don't gamble. I don't, unless, like, you know, I mean, some of you guys go to Vegas all the time. Like, you go to Vegas, you can try to gamble, but because you would be gambling that this would be some kind of, you know, I can't even get 5 waves out of it. It would have to be a 1-2, 1-2, and you just go. So my guess is it's lower. Okay, this is what my guess is. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. We haven't ended the daily cycle yet, nor the weekly. Now the weekly should come back down. The daily's already melting down. Needs more downside. It'll likely break the trend line, and that would probably introduce the flat. So my guess is a flat, but either 2 is already peaked. Maybe you can get another pop higher in 2, and then we pull back more. That's what I'm thinking right now. Negate that view by taking this peak back out. And I think that would be pretty tough to do. Okay. Next set of questions. EMPYF. Empress Royalty Corp. Must be some kind of precious metal company, gold company maybe. So I only see 3 waves up, and now we're pulling back with a lower low. So we're likely to hit this box at 51 cents, 50 cents. And again, I'm showing 2 possible paths where you make an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You correct it, and you keep going higher. So this is one path. And of course, the other path is you just made a corrective move, and then the downtrend resumes. The downtrend resumes. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. I think this box will likely decide that. My guess, it's going to bounce. Just my guess, but I can't be certain. Would I don't like to trade it here. I would totally be on the sidelines. If I happen to buy it early, I'd probably be out of the trade, and I would wait. And I don't like trade in the middle area. Now, if you can come back and take this high out, well, then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then you'll have your impulse, and then you can get more aggressive with buying it. But right now, you don't have it. So could it make the 5? It might. I think it's probably. It looks like, looking at that structure, is probably going to go lower with the lower low here, even if it rallies a little bit. So that's that one. UMAC is in the middle area, and again, that's when we never trade in the middle area, and until that makes its move, it looks like it's, again, it looks like we have 5 off the low, 3 down, 3 up, and since we are correct in the whole cycle, I wouldn't be surprised to see it make that double. And of course, if it does the double, we like to buy that, right? And you know, we like to buy that double. And that's 707, 592, right? So that would be the 2. So if it wants to do that, now it looks like it's trying to do that, but we haven't got that. We haven't broken that trend line. Let's take a look at our daily. Looks like the daily cycle is just breaking down, so that supports the lower prices. Just broke on Friday. How about the weekly cycle? Just broke. So daily and weekly are indicating more downsides coming, but no matter what happens here. So I would expect the double to happen. Okay, and that's what I would expect, and then get a 3-way move, and then somewhere in this box, There's your wave 4. There's your wave 2. So right around $6.75, $7 is kind of that sweet spot. And again, we're showing 5 up. And looking at this as a big 3-wave move down. 5 up. Should make another swing higher at least. Should. And I think that's the count. I think that's the count on UMAC. All right, DNN. Looking for a 5th wave here. Then we top in 1 and we pull back in 2. I don't like to sell this for a lot of reasons. We've exceeded that peak. So higher high, higher high, higher high, and almost made even another higher high. So I do not want to sell this, but if you get this, hey, consider it a gift. You can buy it somewhere around 171, maybe 170, and then it should break out more, right? I can draw this line in, a lot of different ways, but the idea is the same. We're going to probably break out, but I think it could be do a pullback. I think that's with the bearish divergence, and then on the shorter time frames, we even have so we don't have. That could be 3. So we maybe make one more high. Could make one more high. But that's the count I have right now. So that's the count. And as you know, if you're trying to time the market, it can easily just accelerate and go. So I don't recommend that. I don't recommend selling. I recommend buying the dip in 3 waves. But I'm just showing you what I think is the likely interpretation of the chart. I do think in the future, if we can get into a time machine, this is going to be way up here in the future. But a lot of traders won't be able to benefit from that because they'll won't have the patience, or they'll get shaken out on this too, or something else will happen along the way, and that's how it usually goes. But to me, this looks like a very beautiful chart, a very beautiful setup, especially if you get this pullback. I mean, I almost doubt the market's going to give us this opportunity here, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe people are dumb enough to sell it. I don't know. They might be. We'll see. Unify. I think we've truncated this 2 here. I was worried, could it still go lower? I see a divergence erased. I'm seeing a big move now. We haven't confirmed the daily has broken the downtrend line yet, or the weekly, but it's about to. Once that weekly breaks, maybe the weekly has. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, the weekly just broke it. So if the weekly broke it, so I think this is finished. The correction's finished. And again, this is a more bullish chart in some kind of 1-2-1-2 setup. Okay. I think this is some kind of food company. Yeah, health food company. And this looks like clearly 5 up, right? Nice 5 waves, nice 3 waves. So very clear bullish count. Very beautiful setup at the low here. Okay, good job. And next is FX. Some kind of foreign exchange fund. Swiss franc. So I don't do currency trading, so I just don't have a lot of insight I can give you other than, the ones I track, dollar index and stuff. But this, I just tried to label this chart the best I could. And I still, I have it resolving higher. So stronger Swiss franc. Weaker dollar, stronger Swiss franc. So it looks like it's starting a new uptrend, a new multi-year uptrend. Of course, there'll be pullbacks along the way. As long as you're above this 90, looks like 96 level, we're in an uptrend, bull market in this currency. If we break down from here, this chart's negated, and we would likely take a big swing lower. So I think this is a very important level to watch. And then I would just kind of look at the dips in 3 waves. So here's so that 2 could be done. If not, we could dip back down to 107. So maybe maybe it weakens here, and then it can re-strengthen again later. So something like that. So that's what I'm looking at in this chart. So I think it does show more strength. Okay. Will it debate slower? It seems like there's will for some reason. Okay, next is BTCFX. Bitcoin Pro Fund. Not sure what this is, but this chart shows a 1, 2, and 5 up, and I think it's probably peaked. Again, we haven't got that full confirmation, but if it has peaked, we would be looking for 119, 18 right at the wave 4. But again, we would want 3 waves. So it could, again, we don't have a connector. So it's way too early to tell. As you can see, divergence, a lot of divergence. That weekly cycle is probably about to, break this trend line. It's already wide open to the downside. Once this breaks, then I believe you enter wave 2. And then you would look for 3 waves down. But it hasn't done it just yet, okay? So the daily cycle is still holding. So there is a possibility where we could extend the 5th wave more, or it could accelerate. So I'm showing you what I think is the most likely view for right now, but I don't like selling it. I only like to buy it in 3 waves. I don't like the top ticket. I don't like to time the market and try to get in and out. Understand what I'm saying, right? Because again, if we go into the future and it's trading at $60 and you're pissed off it didn't drop, I'm not telling you to sell it. I'm just showing you, like, yes, it's going to pull back right now. That's what I think it's going to do. But the overall view is to hold through this. But I think once that weekly cycle breaks, I think we get a bigger sell-off in 2, and this would be the target. But it hasn't happened yet, so I may be a little premature showing the 2 here. Maybe I should show the 5 still, but you get the idea. It could even be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We made a higher high from these 2 peaks. Let's take a look. Could see 48, 50. So I think it's got more upside. Okay, looking for 401k entry point. Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, this would be the ideal for me if I was trying to this would be the first point. Like that would be great to have there, and then if that you put something in there, and then something at the low if it came back down that far. But I think that would be the ideal. Buying it here is, just don't be surprised if you like, again, if it's your 401k, you may not care, right? Because it's a long-term thing you're buying. But I think that's what I would probably do. It's like I said, I think there's a lot of signs in crypto showing more downsides coming. But the problem is Bitcoin is very close to its box already. Okay, it's very close to a box, right? The correction just didn't start on Friday, right? We started the correction on Wednesday, August 13th. This correction could be almost over, guys. So understand that. I am showing that pullback, but if that too is in, there's going to be no more pullback in crypto. So to be very careful. If you are trying to time the market, it may not work out. You may be very sad. Okay, you may be fear, because I think you're going to get a reaction here, and then after that will be the decision point, down or up. No one knows. Trust me, there's no influencer. Nobody will know this, but a few key individuals that have a lot more money than we do. Okay. Are going to know which path it's going to take. But I think you're going to get a bounce here. Because, again, a high, it got rejected, it backtested it here. It's another backtest. I think it's likely to bounce at this level and create a bounce to correct this leg. Then, who knows? So, like I keep saying, and again, I'm trying to make sure I'm as clear as possible. Whatever path it is, ends up to the same place. We all go to the same place. Just the path to get there could be a little erratic, just to say that least. So that's all I have to say on that. So that's at BTCFX. Next one is another fund. Looks like some other kind of fund here. FSAGX, some kind of gold fund. Okay, so looking at this chart, I think that's playing out just like we had it. I don't think we made any changes. It's hard to label it. We have to look on the weekly, but we're looking for it, you know, to find resistance on the channel here, somewhere in this area, right? And then a big pullback is likely. You know, I don't know how big, but, you know. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. So more upside. It's actually starting to accelerate a little bit. The monthly's already in 3 mode. The weekly, I mean, you see that whole leg is below this peak. That's not a wave 5. So this can, like, that weekly's likely to accelerate and take that out too. We're likely to update this to be a 2, a 1, 2, 1, 2. So, I mean, this was the buy, right? I think when I covered this down here, I said the same thing, and here we are much higher, right? I think we're down to 2045, almost doubled your money. So that was a good thing to buy, wasn't it? All right, higher degree still. Yeah, I think 55 to 60, this is where it's going to be a big, tough decision. And again, it depends on your time horizon. And I mean, if you look, you have your 1s and 2s, your wave 3 extension. Once you see those 4s and 5s, you know it's topping this cycle. This cycle's over. And that's going to create a sell-off, you know, of something almost similar to this, you know, to some, it's going to be a big sell-off. Let me just put this, it'll be a big sell-off. Now, do you have the time? I mean, I don't know how old you are and like your age and what your risk like to hold through it and play the next cycle higher. Good. If not, yeah, maybe, or maybe you can, maybe there'll be something else up here that would be down here, like another asset class, and you can rotate your money out of this gold into something else, which is what the professionals do. Right, they're always invested, they just rotate out. So once this thing kind of runs out of steam, just take your money out and put it in another asset class that's down here, right, and catch the next wave. And then when that is up here, this will be down here, and you just kind of rotate in and out. That's what the market does. That's what people do all the time. So then the next question, let's take a look here. Next question. GDX. So I covered that already. Basically, the GDX is accelerating. I think if you look at the GDXD, I should be even more bullish, but this is the count right now. So higher. Maybe 80 bucks is the target. Okay. XLV. XLV is tricky. I think XLV is all about what Eli Lilly is going to end up doing. Now, it's in a really weird situation. So the bigger picture on the XLV healthcare sector is I have it in a 1-2, 1-2. And we're correcting a major cycle. The wave 4 is right here at 111. That's our box. We almost always go to the wave 4. I still had Eli Lilly going lower. So this is telling me healthcare has a rug pull coming, the sector. Now, we could still push higher and see. Now, this is a 1-2, or C is finished. So C is either finished, and it's about to have a big collapse in healthcare. Probably Trump does something, or Kennedy comes out and does something, you know, really bearish. Or C is going to extend, right? And it's a 1-2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then maybe Lilly makes its wave 5 grand super cycle peak, but healthcare doesn't make a new high, and then it all unravels. So I think this is tough to say. I would say if we can come back out and take out this high, then I would be more bullish on the midterm, on the 4-hour cycle. But if we can't, then you need to be careful. So I would right now I'd just be on the sidelines, and that's kind of why I'm not pushing healthcare too much. I'm just kind of like, let's just wait and see what some of these are going to do. I mean, I still look at some healthcare stocks as like looking like they need to go lower, and some like Lilly look like they truncated, but then again they haven't fully reacted yet. So perhaps it could still swing into our box that I have. So it's a tough call here. You know, I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see it push higher and then rug pull later, right? And of course that moves our target up, right? But I can't guarantee that. Higher time frames. Let's take a look. Weekly cycle. Well, we have to go to the monthly. As you can see, we have a major breakdown here, right? On the RSI, on momentum, right? We broke this massive support, and now it's back testing it, right? It's likely to come down, likely, but it doesn't have to. And then that's the monthly. Let's look at the quarterly. Even the quarterly chart looks like crap. Breakdown with a back test and a rejection. So I'm just saying, it's just the sentiment, it can't be any worse than what I've seen right now. Now, what I like here, you see how you broke the downtrend, right? So that's this downtrend's broken. This W is done. So we are in a new uptrend, but I just think we could double correct. I still do. But if we can take out this peak after this pullback, then I would be more bullish. That's all I can really talk about XLV. So is the 2 in, or do we need to take out 140.79? I think you're right. I think if that's 140.79, I'm not sure. We need to take out this level. I have it as 139.02. Maybe you're looking at the futures or after hour data, but you need to take out that peak. And then you could probably be more bullish. Okay. SLB was have it at this low, up in 5, down in 3. We had this box for the elite members. Pretty much nailed that entry, and could be 5 could be done right here. 505 right there, and could be peaked, or we could make one more high, and then of course we would pull back somewhere down here. We still can't rule out the acceleration and higher, but we still see the bearish divergences playing out. Now the 4-hour doesn't show any divergence, but the 45 does. So what that means is we probably, just kind of looking at it, what it means is this could, I may be off by a degree here. Why don't I change it? I think looking at that a second time, and now we'll create the bearish divergence on the 4-hour. So maybe something like that. Okay, we're just kind of off by a degree. But you get the idea. Okay. But yeah, we do need to see a little bit of bearish divergence on that 4-hour. Something like that. But of course, if you bought it here, you're in the driver's seat. Make the market come and take you out, because that's almost at the low, right? As long as you're above 30.88, it's in the new bull cycle. Now, if that breaks, it's devastating to the chart, right? Because you have a big 3 waves, a consolidation, likely to have ended the cycle. As you can see, he's about to do that here. And that would pretty much be a retest of these lows down in this area. That would be an energy meltdown. That would be a massive recessionary crisis, oil collapse. So could that happen? Sure. But if you happen to buy it at these levels here, where we were buying it, you don't have, let's just see. Let's see if the market can push us higher. So this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. Something like that. So I think it has a little bit more room to run. Is it a connector? It would be a shock to me, because if it's a connector, it would be a horrible decline. But this would be a connector. Now, is it a connector off of that peak? That would be, doesn't have the right look for it, but I mean, we would just drop back down. We'd probably just drop back down to 31.91, 30, right around here. But this doesn't have the right look to me, especially if you can make that 4-hour divergence. if you can't, then yeah, maybe you could, maybe this could be a connector for this leg down, but I don't. And then you're in this kind of too, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think you know, the 45 doesn't really support that view, even though the 4-hour does, because this is a shorter time frame. So I don't think so. I don't think it's a connector. Now this whole thing could be a connector. That would be my biggest concern, is if we can break this high and then this whole thing becomes a 3-wave connector, and then I would be more concerned of that. But we can wait and look at that when that time comes. All right, the next question, CRML. Looking for a 5, and then that should be close to a major peak. And the reason we don't like this one is the way it bottomed. Very irregular bottom with a lower low. The problem here is I don't have, there's no way I can get 5 waves on that B wave here. There's no way. I mean, I wouldn't be intellectually honest if I pushed 5 waves. So to me, it's a corrective bounce. So I have to go with like this bigger structure. And then here, look, here's a lot of resistance. Look at all that resistance. So you know when you hit $9, $9.20, you're going to get rejected. It's like, it's almost a guarantee if once you get up to this area. So I think it's coming to the end soon. You have the divergence. You have the divergence. You almost have this daily cycle about to break. It's coming to an end soon. Weekly cycle needs to reset as well. So now when this pullback happens, we can reassess it to see if we're going to get a Y or we're going to get a bigger 3-way move. But I think you could be in danger of a bigger drop. But you can't rule out a drop and another pop higher, right? And that would be the inverse head and shoulders. And then it just keeps going. So be careful, you know, there. But I think it's likely to probably come up a little bit more and then run into resistance and then have a big pullback. And then, yeah, then at this point, either you complete the inverse head and shoulders or you have the meltdown. The meltdown support it because of the way the bottom formed. Then the next question is huge gains in MP and USAR. Well, I'm glad that worked out for you. I know it worked out for a lot of people. And as you know, nothing goes up in a straight line. Always take partial profit and manage your money properly. But those are doing well. I think USAR has a super bullish setup, but then again, sometimes I see those setups usually break down because they're just like the bulls overplayed their hand a little bit buying the dip. So there's a little shakeout. So watch a little bit of a shakeout, and USAR could take place. So just be careful of that, and then before it can make its bigger move higher, But we talk about that on our Elite group a lot. So, all right. Then the next question is IREN. We got a big move on IREN, and I believe that was one that brought to Elite members, just to keep an eye on, and we were battling that. No box or nothing, just the trader, just experience as a trader, what was happening. Again, we were making higher highs and gave us the confidence. And you had this like flat within a flat fractal, and then you had the big upside move. So this was a good trade that played out. That anyone who wanted to participate in it definitely got paid. But now, more than likely the easy money's over. You did get rejected at the all-time high. So we should see some divergence form, and then we should see some kind of top form here, right? That's what you would expect. And then after this is done, then we could see a bigger pullback, and then we break back out again. That's what we would expect to see, right? I think we're still going to be in this wave 3, is my guess. I think we'll see some kind of 1, 2, and we keep going. So I think you look for something like this, and then you have a pullback, right? We have a pullback. Let me see if I can find it here. There we go. Right, and then we can break out. So something like that is what I'm thinking. okay, right now. And if we get 3 waves, it's buyable in 3 wave dips, okay. And then the next is this wolf one, Terror Wolf, and we are watching this one. We could have a dip buy at 821. I don't have it fully labeled, but basically you get the idea. You have 5 up, 2 down, 1, 2. Looks like 1, 2, 3. That would be 4. So again, I'm just trying to be conservative, right? Let's take a look. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, 4, 5. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It may not hit that box though. That's the thing. It may not. It may do something like this, right? And it's likely to make another 1, 2, and then come out, right? I'm not sure why that's like that. So that's what I'm thinking with the wolf here, something like that. We did break the high. So I think it's still okay, but I you know, if you do get a 3 wave dip, right, off of that connector, there's kind of the area. So we'll see if that could happen or not. This could even be a triangle in 4. So, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, this is the wave 3, right? There's your gap and run. So this is your wave 3. So now you need your 4s and 5s and the pullback, right? It's rare to get a gap and then a second gap, right? That's what MP did, right? MP gave us a big gap and then a surprise second gap, and so that can happen. It's rare, but this is the more classical path. You get 1 gap, 1 run. That's your 3, 4s and 5s, pull back, and we do it again. That's typically how it goes. Okay, the ones where you get multiple gaps and runs are rare, but they happen. And if you do, just see, hey, that's lucky. It's very lucky. Those can happen once in a while. So that's a wolf. So the targets, if Bitcoin pulls back, these I wouldn't correlate to Bitcoin, because remember, crypto was weak, and what did this do? It was up like 20%. Crypto was weak and was up 20%. So you can't I know everyone wants to correlate because they want to look at the market that way. You can't just trade the chart on its own. If you tried to correlate this to crypto, you weren't long. You were short in this, and that's what happened. Those people got blown up because they were correlating it to crypto. They were correlating it to Bitcoin. They're like, oh, Bitcoin top, Bitcoin. But this thing has other things going on for it besides Bitcoin now. Go read about it. I mean, that's why. Why do you think fundamental investors piled into it? So my point is, you don't know. I think you just have to trade it this way, irrelevant of what Bitcoin does. And now Wolf, I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it, so I would just trade it the same way. I wouldn't correlate it to Bitcoin. I wouldn't correlate it. I mean, you're just gonna have to trade the chart. Trade the chart on its own. All right. We saw this big move. I'm not sure what Bitcoin was doing on August 14th and 13th. What was Bitcoin doing August 14th and 13th? Dropping hard. Look, Bitcoin peaked and plummeted. Well, wolf moons. So you can't correlate. It's not correlated. It's if anything, it's doing in the opposite. It's moving the opposite direction. It's like, so it's inversely correlated. Okay, next is okay, yeah, and yeah, people put these super chats in as soon as I post my video schedule, and yeah, so, and I do what I'm trying to do by posting your question early, I can prepare, and that makes the live stream go a lot faster for everybody, and that's what I try to do. So I kind of already looked at these, right? MYO, I think it could bottom at any moment, honestly. As long as we stay above the low, I looked at this count. I think it could bottom at any moment. It should bottom. I think it's likely to make another swing higher. Well, go straight up like this. Probably not. I mean, of course, it's going to chop around, but I think it's going to bottom at any moment. It looks very extended in Y. It looks like it's bottomed here. The weekly cycle is actually opening up, just opening up here, bottomed out here. The daily cycle, that trend line is probably likely to break soon. Monthly cycle bottomed out as well. So this thing should be ready to go. It just needs a catalyst to stop, get the trend change, and that should do it. Okay, the next question is SPWH. SPWH. So I looked at this. We only bounced in 3 waves. We're down in 3. We're actually in a box right now. So it could react and go higher, right, for a bigger 3-wave move, but then again, it may not. It could just continue lower. So we're in the middle area, and we never trade the middle area. We already reacted. We've already corrected the wave. The wave's already done. It's already been corrected, so there's no guarantee for a double. This could just keep going lower. So I really don't have a good way to know. My recommendation is to wait and be on the sidelines and then let the market give you a clue. Perhaps you start to react higher, and then you can try to take a long position on a pullback, on a dip, intraday dip, or you see it melt down, accelerate, and then this is where it's heading. So it's in a very key area coming into the week. My guess, looking at it and looking at the wave it's corrected, and my guess is it's probably going to go higher. But I wouldn't hold me to it, and it would be very speculative. You could try to buy it here, but you would have to be willing to lose to 191 if you're going to do that. Okay, Devon Energy, we have been looking at that and continue to say just keep pushing it higher. It's been going higher, so that's been the right call. But now we're getting close to here. Let's take a look. A lot of divergence, which is typical of a 5. Let's go back. We want to stay on the 45, the 15 minute. I don't want to be on the 15. So we're in 3 of 5 here. I think I will label that like that. So I think we still have more upside. I think we still have more upside, and what you want to see is divergence erased. But if we can't do that, let's see here. Yeah, let me just look one more time. You see how we took this peak out right there? That's a new data. I have to update that. So that's new data, right? So that negates this count. So it's more bullish. That's good. That's good news. That gets us to higher prices. So that will line us up more. Let me see. I see I had that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to do that. Yeah, we'll just do 1. We'll do it like 1, 2. See, we still took this high out. Yeah, I don't want to label it. Again, I'm just trying to take a look. Let's go to the shorter time frame. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your 5. That's your 2. And then you came back down. Yeah, I think what I'll do is just kind of go back to what I had here. At 5, 1, 2. right? It's the only count that works here. So now that gets us up to these targets, right? The box where I was like, you know, we're running, now we have space to get to the box. So obviously, like I keep saying, you just want to keep pushing this higher for now. Okay. So we should get up to this box. And then I think that's when Judgment Day happens on this stock. But unfortunately, there's so many other things to trade that are clearer structures than this one. So this is a very confusing structure. I particularly don't like to trade those kind of structures. But if you're in it, I don't know. You know, maybe you just happen to have it. I still think now I have a count. We have a count now that pushes us up into the box, which is good. Now, after this box is hit, I think it's, like I said, it's kind of like 50-50. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll look at the energy market. We'll look at other stocks, and we'll look at natural gas, and we can make a decision if we're going to get a bigger drop like I'm showing here and why, or this is some low that we need to just accept the fact it's a low and move on. But I keep saying push it higher, and I think that's still the right call. It's obviously the right call, and it's been the right call. Right, got some new ones coming in that that must have come in since I joined. XRP, so XRP, you know, it's consolidating a little bit more. I looked at this today a little closer. Let's take a look at what we've got. Already negating our triangle. Look at that. So it took the A out. So I showed this potential triangle, and it looks like it's already negated it. So that makes it easier for us. Because now we can get a level, right? We can have a connector. We have a level. So we have a level. So this has been very erratic, as you know, in the middle area. But now we have a level, 244. So there's your level. So right in this area, somewhere in that area. So that's what we'll be looking for on the next level. Now that you have the lower low, right, it's likely to continue lower, and there's your downtrend line. So that's where it's going. So it's a double correction. I always say, you know, double corrections can happen, and that's what's happening. Just getting a double correction. So you know, if you hadn't been always wanting to buy XRP, well, you have your chance in this box. If you know, more than likely. And then the next is Sound is again, have been a pretty good opportunity. And again, you have to be playing the long game, having the patience. If you're looking for instant riches, you're usually disappointed. So SoundHound's it has a personality being very erratic, as you can see, right? We have a 1-2, then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It lose the whole 5 basically. But see how it's been so erratic? Like you'll come up, you spike down, you come up, you spike down. There's the personality of this coin is big spikes with big crashes. Okay, that's what it does. Big spikes, big crashes, and that's what happened on earnings, right? Big spike, big crash. The label on SoundHound right now is in a flat, and trying to show we're coming out of the flat. If we could still double correct lower, but the most important low to hold is this low right here at 974. Right, and then this buy I gave in my hospital bed for people in my elite group. And that was an earnings winner. This also shows why you should always take profit while you have some, because you never know. And this is a nasty flat. I mean, this was a horrific flat, but these things happen. What worries me is we didn't quite fill the gap. So I am thinking, what if it does something like a W, it comes up in X, and then it just drops real quickly in Y to fill that gap, holds that low, but just and then you know, anyone that has stops here gets stopped out real quick, and then it runs. So just you understand, like, I still think if you bought it here, you're in a position of power and strength. You own the market. You're essentially as powerful as a market maker in this stock, because this low is exactly, you basically bought it at the low. So make the market take you out. Took some profit. Now make the market take you out. If it can't take you out, cool. If it can, well, then the bears obviously are in control, way in control, and that would be controlling the grand super cycle. That'd be 3 and 3, and then we would break this low, right? And 2, and we would do a big WXY, come down to like $3 or $4. So unfortunately, that can happen. That's still possible until we have to take this peak out, because we have only have 3 swings up. We need 5. We don't have that yet. Now it's trying to come out. Here, it's trying to come out. But we'll see if it can fall through or not. Only time will tell. But if you bought it here, you're in a position of power, right? But you're going to have to let the traders knife fight themselves, and eventually one side will give up. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in Soundtown. The U's are pulling back, and that's another one that we did pretty well with. Again, I identified this stock years ago, guys, by the way. But it's been a hard one to hold, because it's been, again, big crashes. So we have potentially a 1-2-1-2 setup. We could see a dip down to $10 to backtest that support, that resistance. Now support. And then could continue higher. So my count here, big 1-2. And off of a major 1-2, 1-2. Now it's trying to go vertical. And we'll just kind of keep labeling it. So that's the label. I like to buy 3-wave dips. 3-wave dip was bought up, vertical. Maybe it'll do the same. If it doesn't, it seems too extended for a flat. So I would be really shocked if this level breaks. Could this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Let's take a look. And we do have a little bearish divergence. Let's look at the weekly cycle. I think if the weekly cycle could take this peak out, that will negate that view. Maybe. I mean, maybe. And again, that means this labeling was wrong. If it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I guess you can't rule that out. And that would bring you back down, probably down to $7. Okay. And then you go vertical. But my suspicion is breaking out like we did with this kind of power. This was a lot of power breaking out. I think it's going to hold. I just think it will. And you see how we came up in 5 and we came right back to the 4. I just think this is the most likely path, right? I think this is the most likely path. Every box has produced explosive reactions right here. Like here, boom, here, explosion, here, explosion. Now this one did retrace a little bit back down. So this was more of a scalp trade on a 5, ended up being a flat, and then we had a 5 here. So a little tricky top-end structure, and then we got the 3 waves. So that's kind of where we are. Obviously, investors want to buy this. Okay? ROIV. Let's look at that one. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like we got that drop, but it just didn't hit our box. Let's take a look at what's going on. Capitulated, took out all the peaks there. Yeah, that's the low. Just I wonder if we're missing data in TradingView. I wonder if there's some trades that are a little lower that came a little lower, but I guess we'll never know. So it didn't hit our box, but it finished the correction. So that's the end of the correction. So it's trying to build the next leg higher. So truncated, at least per the data we're seeing here. Again, sometimes TradingView misses, doesn't have all the data. It's not the best platform, but it's definitely free, right? It's basically free. 1, 2. So this would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Could we be in 5 still? not in 5. So I think we finished 5 right here, and we already finished. We're already in the next wave higher. 1, 2. So I think we're in something like this. And that could be 5 right here. Could pull back. This could be labeled a lot of different ways. I could label it like this, right? And then we drop and go. Could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It's best to just leave that part unlabeled. But as you can see, it's in the next leg higher. Okay. Hive stock. So Hive is, like I've been telling everybody, I get asked about Hive a lot on my DMs. I think people are really nervous about it. I'm just like, hey, just be patient, be okay with it. You're okay. So now you're okay. Look, and you're okay. You're okay. I mean, but hey, the cycle is gonna get a little mature here, right? And you're gonna pull back more, right? It's right. So again, I'm showing you the chart. We trade each chart on its own. We're not trying to correlate it with Bitcoin or any of that crap. This is not how we do it. And then we have a big pullback, right? So that's what I would be looking for, something like that. Because this is probably your wave 3 off of the low, off of this low, more than likely. Now, can it keep pushing higher? It can, but let's see. That's wave 3 action right there, okay? Wave 3. So it's obviously you're in wave 3. The daily cycle, see, you're in wave 3. To end this wave, you need 4 and a 5. You need divergence. So you need a big pullback with another high. And that's what these 4s and 5s are going to give you. But what if, but I can't rule out, it just keeps accelerating. What if this is another 1, 2? So you can't time yourself in and out of the market. That's why the best strategy is to buy here and hold, right? You hold. You take some profit along the way, and then you just gotta hold. And then when you see signs of the bigger correction, then you may leave the whole thing if you want to, or do whatever you want, or you put your stop up to A, the low on A. Now, the daily, we're nowhere near the daily trend line. Like we're nowhere near it. Look, I mean, nowhere near it. I do not like selling this. The weekly, nowhere near it. Sure, it's gonna pull back. There's nothing goes straight up. But ask yourself this, it's been going up, but Bitcoin was going down. Why? I mean, I don't know. Again, why? But it is. So here you go. So that's what I'll be looking for, something like this. You want to see, once you start to see the divergence on the daily with bearish divergence, then you know, okay, maybe the cycle's coming to an end soon. But until then, it could just keep pushing higher. And we know the personality of Hive, it can go vertical, right? I mean, it could go vertical. So we may be just getting started with one of those spikes here. And you may get out at the wrong moment. So again, I don't want to, kind of influence you too much. Now, we do have 3 waves down, so the 4 needs to hold here. For some reason, if it doesn't do that, we have another entry. 274, 268. And we'll put a box there. So you do have a dip buy there if it were to drop again. If not, it'll just keep going higher. Okay, let's see, that was Hive. Nat. Let's take a look here where we're doing here. So we had this 4. The question is the 4 done or not? Let's see here. I'm not sure, our lines got all messed up. It's probably been a while since we looked at this. Let's take a look at what's going on. It may have morphed into a WXY. Yeah, we'll just set, it morphed into a WXY. So we had it as an ABC. So it morphed into a WXY correction. So it went into an A, B, C. Some kind of WXY. Now, since it did morph into a 3-wave correction, there's a possibility that's the low. That's always a chance in a 3-wave correction. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to just trade it on the upside until, I think you have to just assume the lows in until proven otherwise. I wouldn't be worrying about a double correction anymore. I mean, it could still always do that, but if you get a good entry on a 3-wave dip, I wouldn't be afraid to take it. I wouldn't be afraid to take it. That could be a big extended 5th wave here. Yeah, maybe, I don't think so. I don't think that's an extended 5th wave. Too many overlapping waves there. I'm trying to label this. Maybe it is corrective. So I think you got a big decision to come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or when you don't get the 5, right? You get that double correction I was showing you earlier. Down. So right here, we don't know. So I think it has more upside, and then the decision. Is it going to impulse? And that'll be the low. If not, it double corrects. My guess is the lower low sequence would concern me a little bit. You have 3 down, 5 up. That's 5 up too. Yeah, so you would have to just say, okay, this is the low. You have 5 up. And if this low breaks and we can't get much higher, then it's coming all the way back down. It's likely to break this low. And so I think this is a very important level that has to hold right here, 206. If it doesn't hold, it's over. It's over. There's no bull case on this anymore, in my opinion. But right now, sure, you could talk yourself into it, but I would worry you're only seeing 3s. So that's corrective type of structure. So I wouldn't fall in love with it. I wouldn't fall in love with it, but you know, it maybe can make this 4 and 5 and pull itself out, and maybe it can do that. Okay, IVF. Let's take a look here. So again, we're just trying to look at this. We need that bounce in 4. But again, it could just keep extending lower. I mean, I hate trading these kind of charts. I know people love them, but they could just keep going, right? Accelerating lower. Now, this 45, see that divergence? Again, it's going to end. It looks like to me it's going to end at any moment, but it's probably the moment you won't buy it. That's the when it will end. The day you decide not to buy it or sell it. So I mean, it's any second. I don't know. Like, I wish I could make the market, and even yet you have a little divergence still here. So I mean, I don't know. It could be tomorrow even. I mean, honestly, it could be tomorrow. Any moment you're gonna get it. At this point. Unless it can drop hard and erase the divergence again. So it's set. It's like literally it's on the T for the bulls here. Only the insiders know. Only people, again, that want to pump this know they're about to pump it, but you don't. And if you do, and if it gets pumped, it's going to be something like I'm showing on my chart here. It's going to be a big pump. So I do think it's when I look at the chart, any moment. It's any moment. So I don't change anything. I keep everything the same. The same analysis as I've given you before on this. The only thing that would change my mind is if we erase the divergences on the shorter time frames, and we're not doing that. We're seeing even more divergence build bullish. So all right, guys, thanks again. I really like the DNN chart. I do. I really do. Cool, you've been in DNN since 88 cents. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you guys always bring out stocks that I'm not aware of very early, right? You guys bring out stuff that I'm not. I want to say, like, I think this is one. Yeah, this is one. This Mayo. I don't know who found this. Who asked me about this one? Who asked me about this one? Mayo. I have to go back and look at my notes because I don't have all my names in TradingView anymore for some reason. I'm sorry, in YouTube they wipe out the name. Some of these, I guess they get overwhelmed with super chats. The system gets overwhelmed. But whoever gave me this one, this YO, I don't know, because I look at the theme of it. It's got that AI kind of theme. If I was reading it right. Medical robotics. Yeah, and it's, remember, small cap biotech for Russell type thing. I have a feeling, just got a feeling this one could be a big runner, guys. So you guys bring me early, you know, this stuff, I would have never found this on my own. Again, I'm not saying put your whole stack in, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one's a big runner as long as we stay above this. So these are the things, you guys bring me stuff early. And I appreciate that because I can't track everything, right? I can't track everything. So then, yeah, the reverse shares on IVF, same. I think bottom on Bitcoin will be Mr. Sale. I think, yeah, I think they're going to go after Saylor's coins. I think to him, he's an easy target. I mean, think about it. Again, if you're a whale, whales, they don't all love and hug and, you know, they're all cuddly, right? No, they want each other's Bitcoin. They want to be the king. And they see him as a major target. So if this is a game of poker and he's just, you know, constantly like, you know, hitting, you know, putting out, you know, money and money and money, they're like, hey, this idiot keeps buying, let's let him buy and like milk his company, and then let's slam him down and take all his coins. You'll have to be I mean, like, I hope Saylor has a trick up his sleeve. If not, it's probably the most obvious like setup that trap he fell, he you know, walked into himself, I think, foolishly, naively, for whatever reason, unless he's got a trick up his sleeve we don't know about. But I think, yeah, if they push it down too far, he'll be forced to sell. And then that'll create selling pressure. And that may be that big sell-off. And if we get that big sell-off and we know that that's the story, okay, he's the FTX of the sell-off, he's the Mt. Gox of the sell-off, okay, it's MicroStrategy blows up. Well, then we know, and then, okay, it's over. Then we know it's over. Selling's over. So that's okay if that's the narrative. It may be. They may be coming after him. CDE and silver. So CDE was pushing higher and should hit resistance at 15. I really think it's going to do that. Again, it's accelerating, but got some divergence there. We're in a 3 of 5. Maybe I need to make this a 1-2 here. Probably need to do that. So again, this is just extend. All these things are extending, right? The miners are accelerating, right? So I think somewhere around this level is going to be a pullback. Why do I say that? Again, we look at the chart. Like, there's a cluster. It's like resistance here and here. It became support. It was resistance. Here was resistance. So I think you're going to get it's going to be congested. So I think you're going to get consolidation, and that'd be a good spot to kind of end the cycle and have your 3-wave pullback. Okay, so it's obviously continuing to push higher. I would buy the dip in 3 waves. I would expect the resistance, the top, to come somewhere in this area, and then a pullback, and then you probably will break out. And silver, you know, is tricky because it was actually gaining momentum. It's getting me a little excited, but then it kind of started to stall out again. So we're just kind of labeling the waves for now. So if silver stalls out, this could be a 5 on a big cycle. Look at this cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be a big pullback. Back down probably to 34.3, right? Probably somewhere in that area. Take months. So it's, and then after that, right? And then when that's done, boom, it's the $60 silver and higher. Now, what I was hoping for is we don't get that pullback, no one's long it, and then everyone piles in the short squeeze and it just goes vertical. We can't rule that out yet. So manage your expectations. Like I said, you see how we started accelerating a little bit, but then it kind of got quashed. Now if we take out that peak, take out these peaks here, take out that peak, then it's go time. It's go time. So I don't like selling it. I don't like timing the market. I just like to buy the dips and play the long game. Play the long game. Be like your grandpa, you know, all your grandpa, you know, your great grandpa. They all love silver. They owned it. They cherish silver, right? You know, I've been telling people to buy silver. God knows that back in here, and even like, I mean, just this is one of the best opportunities the market has. That's what, you know, it was severely underpriced. It's not as underpriced now, but it's still, you know, it's just, this is what I was telling people, you know, a long time ago, to make sure you have some of this. And they're like, should I buy paper, silver, or metal? I said, buy both. Have both. Because we don't know. If this thing goes into berserk mode and they start breaking the ETFs, because they said it's all been rehypothecated around the system. There's not enough actual silver to cover all the liabilities. The actual, in people that gets called margin, you know, people want to call their metal back from their vaults that's not there anymore, right? Paper silver market may not be supported, so you gotta be careful too in paper silver. I mean, I'm not again, I don't want to scare you guys, but so that's why I say you want to have both. There could be a divergence between the paper market and the real metal when the shit hits the fan on the upside. Because guys, you do your own research. A lot of these places don't actually have the silver that they're supposed to have, because they've lent it out, they borrowed against it twice, 3 times. They're naked short. God knows why this was allowed, and that's what I said. That's why when I ran through ChatGPT, I said it could collapse the financial system if this spikes too high, too fast. I mean, that's what the AI said. I didn't know. That's what it said. Whether that's true or not. They said it almost happened in the 80s. It would happen again if it went to 100 rapidly, because too many people are short. It would be too big of a margin call with big banks, and there's not enough actual metal to cover it. And so understand, I'd rather be on that. I'd rather be on the other side of that trade. So I don't want to be a seller of silver. I'll be the buyer, right? Make them turn the buy button off. When they do that, then of course, you know, we can dump it. But that's where we are. Okay, that's where we are with silver, guys. That's my view on it. Make sure your daily videos in 1080p. All right, I'll take a look at that. I thought they were. YouTube was having some issues with the videos lately, for whatever reason. They had some problems, and maybe that's it, the issue. I don't know. I'll look at it. All right, the next request is this WA8. Okay, right away I see a lower low, and that always is sad, right? That means it's a bears are in control. But I also see 3 waves, and I see a whipsaw. So we see the whipsaw, right? We see this whipsaw coming. Right, so we can play that. So we'll play it long from that low. That's like 5 down. You know, you can see the 5 there. Divergence. So we're in 3 of 5, more than likely. Let's see here. Go back to the daily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, so you're probably close to the very end, more than likely. Unless it can erase divergence and keep accelerating higher, but it doesn't look like it's doing that here. It's trying to do it on the daily a little bit, so maybe tomorrow we'll know, or tonight for you guys, if it's Australia. So if not, it's just gonna be a healthy pullback, and of course it goes higher. I think it will keep pushing higher for now. I don't think, because I think this sector still got room to run, and I think this is likely to go at least somewhere up here or higher. Okay, something like that. Yeah, so that's probably it. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback in the ASX soon, but the ASX is breaking out, guys. It's a strong index because the metals and miners is the hot sector to be in. Okay, let's take a look at Marvell. Yeah, that got hit hard. That got hit hard on earnings. Damn, 18%. Let's look at the big picture. All right, so big picture on the monthly, look at that divergence. That's the 3. You see the highest peak, 3, 3, 4, 5. I mean, so it's correct in the grand super cycle. A lot of traders don't understand that, don't realize that, but that's what's happening. Right, that's what's happening. Let's look at this here. So looking at this, I think we should just, you know, label it like that, and then something like that, and then let's just look at the subdivisions. Yeah, actually, this does come out to be 5. You just I won't label it for the sake of time, but you can trust me. It's a 1, 2, 1, 2, and the 4s and 5s are here. Then you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So I think the subdivisions all make sense. And then this 5, obviously blue investors up, buying the 5 here. Like that. So now the question is that the low or is this a connector wave? And we're about to double correct. We always go to the wave 4 target, so it's likely to double correct. It looks like 5 waves down, or maybe not, 3 waves down. So it's 3 waves down. And see that, how we spiked up there and we took out the divergence. So it looks like an impulse, but it isn't. It's a corrective wave. So yeah, I think it's double correcting. And you'll get more downside. I don't think it's, I think it'll be okay in the end. I just think it's lower, probably going to 37.73. And that's the wave 4. And see, that's the market. It's correcting the grand super cycle of its advance since the very beginning of the company. So there's your buy box right there. So there's your 4. So you keep an eye on it. I wouldn't touch it until it gets to that box. If it doesn't, so be it. I don't care. But if it came down to that box, I definitely would get interested in it. And that would coincide with this former all-time high. See all that? Right there. So that's the setup. The monthly cycle. It's just about to break down here. Hasn't quite yet done it. Let's look at gotta go to the quarterly. The quarterly is about to break down. So yeah, I think it's more down. So it's double correcting. Okay, it's double correcting. Never is a straight line down, right? So it'll be choppy, just like it was here. It'll come on down. It'll come on down. All right. I wouldn't. I think it's a double correction. I think it's a double correction, especially how this topped here. It did not top in 5 waves. Okay, and that's a pretty big nosedive. with a lot of momentum. XBI, biotech, have this pullback in 2, should find the bid around 81. We got the divergence, we got divergence there. So any second we'll see the sell-off start, and we should pull back somewhere around there. It could still extend a little bit, but it's like I said, it's at risk. I mean, I've had this chart for months and haven't really changed it. I do think that low is going to hold here. So I think, and especially with the Russell pushing higher and stuff. So I think this would be a opportunity here, right? Right in this area if it pulls back down there. We haven't started it yet though, but I think it's on the verge of it happening. Okay. It's on the verge of it happening. Yeah, that could be the top right there. That could be the top. So just, yeah, so something like that. All right. Stay on. Now, you take this out, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then that 5 would extend. Right? It would have to extend. Okay. That's the XBI. BBAI is also pretty weak. Test and traders conviction. We did have a double correction, and we backed it. We made a higher high. It could be in a flat that could end at any moment. If for some reason we break this low, right, then I would have to flip this to be just a 3-wave bounce. We would still be in B, and we would come down one more leg, maybe somewhere down to 369. Still be a buy in this box. So this is kind of a more bullish interpretation of the chart, right? But I can't rule out that we're still in B. What's good is it's kind of decelerating. I don't think, you see how it's building divergence. It's just building like a 5th wave here. So maybe it will come out of this soon. HL. Yeah, I wanted to get a little more confirmation of the upside before I started going into HL. Now I think we've got that confirmation. Let's take a look. I want to take this peak out. I really want to take out 922. So I'm showing you a bullish interpretation of the chart, but I really want to take out that level. We are starting to accelerate, so maybe we will take it out. In hindsight, maybe we should have just bought it just for the hell of it. I said screw it, but I don't trade like that. So I think you will keep the more bullish interpretation of the chart for now. Something like that. Once you break this peak, then I'd be more aggressive in buying the dips in 3 waves, of course. But I'm just kind of showing you like the more likely view. Again, all the minors I'm showing like 4s and 5s, a series of 4s and 5s, right? And then a big pullback. Now this could be 3 here. It could be another 1, 2. Likely to be another 1, 2. Okay. So it looks like I got through everything. If I miss somebody's, type it in. I have done that before. Yeah, I just kind of looking through comments that maybe I missed I can talk about here. 40,000 Dow Jones if Powell rug pulls the interest rate last second in December. My guess is Powell will give the rate cut because the Federal Reserve in its history typically doesn't foreshadow decisions and then do the opposite. Like that speech he gave in Jackson Hole really gave an impression he's ready to change policy, and typically historically when that happens, they follow through on that decision. It's very rare. I mean, the data would have to be very different between now and then. The last kind of decision at Jackson Hole was like, I think Bernanke was starting to hint at QE2. when QE1 was out and the markets were starting to tank. He got out there, kind of hinted, and then a couple months later, QE2 was introduced, and so on. So maybe Powell really will. I think he really will lower rates next month. I think he will, and I think the market will respond favorably to that. I would guess, and because that would be the first. They would interpret it as a new regime of lower rates, but I think what will hurt the market is then after September, news comes in that makes them pause again or stop, or they won't, like, no, this was a one-time thing. And when the market realizes that's a one-time thing, then I think they get panicky and they sell off or something like that. So I think Powell indicated, I think September, I'll be surprised if he doesn't do anything. After what he said in Jackson Hole, I think you're going to get a rate. I think the rates are going to go down. I think it's just what happens after September is the big question. That's a big question. What happens after September, and what news ensues? I think it's hard to trade the news. That's why I never trade the news. It's hard to piece together. Well, the cause and this happens and this happens and that will happen, and because of those two things and this third thing should happen. Like, you can't, like, I'm like, no one's a savant to trade them, like, understand the market and that kind of with that kind of knowledge to trade it. There's just no way. There's no way to trade that. So you just kind of, it's good thought. It's good to think about. Like, I enjoy thinking about these things and. Just more accurate, but I don't never make trading decisions off of, okay, if Powell's going to lower rates, that means the markets will go up, so I better buy before they, like, I will never make a trading decision on that. But I do think about it. I do think about those things. It's cool. It's interesting to see how them, because a lot of people do react to that news, but I would never personally trade on news like that. Just kind of looking through final comments that I have here. Are you aware of the contracting end and diagonal on Bitcoin? August 3rd low, wave 4 is below top of wave 1. Contracting end and diagonal on Bitcoin, August 3rd low. I'll see if I can understand what you're saying there. Oh, like this is an ABC? Like that's a 4? I don't think so. The RSI doesn't support that view, I don't think. Yeah, you see the daily cycle is pretty much broke, right? Look at that. See? So that's one clue. Let's look at the weekly cycle. The weekly cycle is the other clue. Look, it's like completely reset. Look, from that March, April low there, we went up and the cycle's done, almost done, right? See that? And the trend is clearly broken. So I wouldn't call that a wave 4. That cycle's fully reset. That's why I would call that a 2 and not a 4. All right, but hey, yeah, I mean, again, Elliott wave is in the eye of the beholder. That's why there's multiple counts, right? You can create a lot of different counts. But I use other guideposts to help narrow down the possible counts to usually just a couple, and then you have to, make your decisions. Like I mentioned on Bitcoin before, right? I mean, could this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I think that's the bigger concern. I think investors really need to think about. Could it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And that would have to take you to the monthly view, right? And that would have to take you back to this trend line here. So that's why I think you need to bounce soon. Because I worry if this trend line breaks, you could get more selling than people realize. Okay, I'm just telling you guys. Again, I'm not here to give you happy talk. That's why I really think this is an important level. Okay, but we'll take it one step at a time. Okay, one step at a time. So it's an important level. It should produce a reaction, but then whatever happens there, I think will define the market. Will define it, and then you'll have to decide how you want to trade it. And I like I said, only a few people know the answer to that question, where we're gonna go. right? What are we going to do, right? And we'll see. All right. Check Marvel, already covered. You can check that. Missed NST. Okay, I always say I always miss something. NST, Northern Star Resources. Peak is there. Peak is there. Looks like that's the full cycle ended here. So we've got a 1 and a 2, and we're building 3. That looks like a 1, 2. Let's go to the monthly. Let me see 3 up there. Yeah, maybe it's we'll look at this in a minute here. Yeah, I think I have to just call that a 4. There's really no other way to label it, but I don't think that's 3. The reason I'll call that a 4 is still relatively within the trend. So we should bounce here like it's doing, make another high and pull back, and I think that would be another 1, 2, and then we come out and get the real wave 3, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, there's your 3s. There's your reset. It's a 4. It's a 4. Something like that. So I think it's building higher. So as long as you're above 15.25, I would expect it to get to like 26. And then I'd be worried about a bigger pullback, back down, somewhere down to this area, and then a bigger breakout. All right. Check Marvel, please. I already covered it. I covered it. Marvel, I covered. It's already covered. And we're looking for a double correction. A double correction. It's not a straight line down though. You're gonna have it. It will be. You know, I think it's going to come down to this level here. I wouldn't be interested in buying it until it comes down here. It looks very corrective, and this bounce looked very corrective. Okay, Baba's one that's breaking out finally. A lot of 1, 2s that finally produced that wave 3. It's been a battle for our elite members that have tried to stick with it. It's been a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Finally got the first 3. So it should just keep, look at all the, like we should be coming up here. And then of course a much bigger pullback. On the bigger picture, I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a 1, 2, 1, 2. Now some people may say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come back down to 94. I don't know about that. Now I could make that because you have the 3s there and the peak there, so maybe. But what we need to do is let this wave play out. We take out this 160, and let's see where the divergences are. If there's a lot of bearish divergence up here, we'll relabel this as a 4 and a 5, and then we would create a bigger pullback. And if not, we would extend. So I think you just need to stay long and buy the dip in 3 waves. I think it's a pretty straightforward one. This FTU2, let's take a look. About to break the high. Normally the first test of the high you always get crushed back down, but not always, but usually. So you got to think about that. No divergence, no divergence, divergence. So like I said, crush back down. That could be an extended 5th wave. But the good thing is it looks like it wants to push higher. My guess it's going to do something like this. Something like that. That's my guess. That's my guess. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my guess. And then you make the cup and handle, and then you go on your merry way. So I'd be really careful for a big pullback. Looks like you're already starting to get selling here. If I was a professional trader here trading this, I would be selling right there. Professional traders would be selling at this all time. I mean, that's what they'll do. They won't even label. They'll just see that and they'll say, okay, let's start to short that. Look at that run, uncorrect it. So you just need to be ready for the pullback. But I believe that pullback, you'll come out of it at some point and go higher. Serve. Serve we're keeping an eye on. When that 2 could be in if we double correct the dip by 669. If not, the 2 is in and it should be ready to fly. So we don't have enough data here. It does look corrective. So that's why I wasn't like, oh, just buy it, because it's either corrective and it could still even take another swing higher and go lower. So it's still in the middle area. So I wouldn't trade it here. It's likely to come out. If it were to break down 674, it could still come up and come down later. So I wouldn't trade the middle area. I would just look for an opportunity to go long, looking at this 1-2-1-2 setup. Okay, I don't see that. I mean, unless you just want to buy it here and just stick your neck out and put your stop down at $4. I think you're better off waiting for a better 3-wave opportunity to emerge, and once one does, you can probably take it. GDX covered that, and that one is it erased a little bit of divergence on Friday. Here we are, 4s and 5s. My guess is we're going to probably see $80 when it's all said and done, but it just keeps accelerating higher. I would not like, do not like to sell it. Buy the dip in 3 waves. It looks like we could see another pullback soon in a 4, but the way it's been going, it could just keep accelerating. So, but this is kind of where we are with GDX, 4s and 5s. But and then it's on a big pullback, right, to punish the late chasers. Okay, I think I covered everyone's questions. I got through everyone's comments. Again, just always do what's best for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see what this week brings. I think, again, I think the right strategy is buy the dip in 3 waves, direction of the trends. If markets make a lower low, then you can look to, get out of something completely or be more defensive. If not, just keep playing the trends higher until the market takes you out. I think crypto's the big wild card. What's going to happen with crypto? What's going to happen here? Boy, I wish we all knew that. Like I said, I think it's highly likely for a bounce, but then what happens after that is going to be huge. It will be like a catastrophe here, or maybe a smaller pullback, for a 1-2, and then it just blows everyone's mind away. So it's hard. It's why I say it's hard to time the market, guys. Buying it early is always the best strategy. Now, people in this position, we're in the driver's seat, right? Because we have so that's a good entry. Now this entry sucks because you're going to be in a tough spot, right? If you were in this entry, you probably should have just put your stop here at that A, and then look, because you got in so late. Now, if you were fortunate enough to buy it here or even lower, the best should hold through it all. But you guys make your own decisions, like I always tell you guys. But because I think it's likely to resolve higher no matter what happens, because I think a stock like Ethereum tells you, I'm not a stock of crypto like Ethereum, tells you more upside is needed in the ecosystem. Okay, unless you believe Bitcoin will crash and Ethereum will rise, which we've never seen something like that happen before. So I don't think that's going to happen. All right, guys, good luck. And did you miss OS after? Maybe I missed it. If I missed it, I'll just assume I missed it. I'll do OS. Like I said, if I missed something, just put in the chat. If not, you can DM me, and I can. So looks like 3 down, looks like 5 up. Let's take a look. Not a lot of data. See, it's not a lot of data. We'll have to go to a smaller time frame, but I'm just going to label it like we don't have enough RSI data for me to do a proper analysis, but I'll do my best. Well, there's your box. It did react from that box. Appears to be in 3 waves. Right, and that looks like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 5 to me. So I think as long as you don't make 5 down, you're okay. 1, 2, 3 connector. 1, 2, 3 connector. Let's see. Oh, you see how we capitulated there? As long as we hold this low, we can call that 2 in. If we break it, it's 5 down, and it's something completely different. So as long as we can hold that low, we could come out of this. If we break it, it would be 5 down. I mean, it could be a flat, but I don't think it would be. I think it would have to become like an A, B, C. Yeah, that's what it would have to be. It would have to be that. It would have to be. So I think as long as that low holds, it's good. You come back into the low here and try it. I don't know if it's like a recent IPO or something, but maybe it's trying to come out. I don't know what these guys do. It's a sector. Another some kind of AI finance, AI something or another. Keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, the RSI does us no good. It's just there's not enough data, or this RSI is flawed, so we can't use it. We just have to use just traditional Elliott wave theory to label this, and that's what we have to go with. I guess we could just say, oh, what if it's a double correction, right? Just try to do a level. Regardless of the count, that'd be 10.13, $10. So I don't know. I think, and then it would have to, I would assume, exceed even that level of bearishness. So I think this is what I'll go with. All right, guys. Have a good Labor Day again. I'm gonna get off here. I think I covered everything. Yeah, hope everyone has a good day. We'll see what Tuesday has in store for us and those in the other parts of the world. I hope you have a good day, and it's a good day of trading for you guys. And no videos tomorrow for me. I'll do a video on Tuesday. That will be my next videos. All right, guys. Thanks. Good night.